Hi, I'm Stuart from Car From Warehouse, and today we're going to have a look at the Sony Ericsson Xperia Mini. This isn't one that we can, one as we're going to sell them. It's a prototype version. As you can see, the Sony Ericsson branding and everything isn't quite right on the back. But it is one that we managed to get our hands on from our trading department, so we thought we'd give you a quick look at it. We hope to unbox it, but we can't because, as we say, we just literally got this as it is. So I'm just going to give you a quick tour of this. We're going to compare it with its bigger brother, which is the full-size Sony Ericsson. And what's first thing that really strikes you about it is obviously the size of the Mini. It's so much smaller, and there's not that much that you sacrifice for the size. We'll go through some of the big differences a bit later on. Just to give you a quick tour of the Mini. On the top of the phone, you have the on-off and key lock. Just see that there. On the side that you'd normally associate with taking a picture, you have the shutter button and the zoom in, zoom out or volume buttons. Now, like I say, because this is a prototype, those keys aren't actually in here. So if we wanted to press those, we'd either take the back off or get something to press in on the actual buttons. That's just because it's a prototype. On the bottom, we have here a very small cover for the USB connector. That's for charging and data transfer. And we have here the headphone socket. Now you might notice there that on the headphone socket there is an extra bit just to the side. Now I've seen on the Sony Ericsson website some accessories and things like that that kind of come with it that have that extra special connector, and that just gives you a little bit of extra functionality, like being able to receive and speak on calls on certain accessories that otherwise you wouldn't normally. On the other side, there's absolutely nothing. It's just the plain fascia at the side. Now, this fascia is in grey, but I've seen lots of different colours of fascia that come with these. What we'll be selling just yet, we don't quite know. That's still being sorted out. So the big difference is, on the camera side, you just have the exact same buttons. On the top, you have the three on the larger brother. You have the on-off, the headphone and the USB, whereas that's shared between the top and the bottom on the Mini. And that's really the big differences when it comes to the externals. Screen sizes, obviously. On the X10, you've got a 12cm by 6cm approximately. There are a couple of millimetres difference in that, which is a 4-inch display across the top. So it's 12cm long in total, with a 4-inch display. The Mini, this is, by comparison, 8cm by 5. So you can see there's a big difference in the size there. And the screen on this is only 2.25 inches. Big differences as well is in the memory. This has a gig as it is, without any memory cards in it at all, whereas this only has 128 megabytes. It's rumoured that this will come with a 2 GB memory card, but hold off until we actually put it on our shelves. Whereas this one does actually already come with an 8. Both of them are expandable to 16 GB. Both are Wi-Fi compatible, and the cameras on the back. The larger one is an 8 megapixel camera, and you can see it has a LED flash there as well. This one will be a 5 megapixel camera with an LED flash as well. So a very formidable camera given the size of this phone. Both of which are GPS capable, and both of which are Android phones. So I'm just going to show you one other big difference between the two, and that's how you take them apart. On the back of the larger Sony Ericsson, there's here where you attach carry handles or dongles or anything like that. You also have a small lip there for your finger to go in, where you can lift the back off and you can get inside. Inside here you have the SIM card, the memory card, and obviously the big battery, which you lift off at the bottom, lift the battery out, all your phone details, and you just slot the cards in as such. If I get the memory card here, you just push that in, or if it's memory SIM card, you can stick that in there. Big difference with the Mini is that instead of anything on the bottom, you have a small connector on the side here, and you can just stick your finger in there. Now if you run your finger along there, you can feel where the little bit is you're meant to grasp, and the case comes off to the side instead. Once you've done that, you can see here the big differences are that although you still have a memory card and the SIM card slots, you don't have a battery as such. The battery, you can just see, is underneath all this housing. So it's an internal battery on this particular model. I don't know how they could possibly have an external battery when on the final one, but you know, they might pull something out of the hat. Like I say, this is a prototype, so we can't be 100% that this is exactly what you'll get when we relaunch this phone. So one last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick the battery back in here. We're going to turn them both on. Firstly, to unlock them, both of them start off by you hitting this square button on the bottom to unlock them, and that brings the screen up, but they're still locked. This one, you can slide like that. This one doesn't have that feature, so once you've hit this square button, you need to hit then the menu button there to open it up. Now with them both on their home screen, one of the first differences is accessing the menu. Now you can do it by hitting this menu button, or on both of them you can just scroll up like that. So that's just press your thumb there and push it up and it brings up the menu. Now on the larger one you have a big scrolling screen that you can just push up and down and have all your different apps and programs organised there, and you can change where they are and organise them as you will. On this one, on the Mini, you actually have 4 pages which if you scroll side to side you can scroll through them. There's no up down function on this one. I mean, that's a very basic difference, and it's not the end of the world, but it's just a difference that we've noticed between the two. Something else is the way that you type. We've noticed that a few people have asked about this on different forums, so we're just going to give you a quick demonstration. So if we go to compose a new message, just find that on the menu here, and what we'll do is we'll show you on this larger one first. When composing a new message, just clicking to type to compose a message, you have the keyboard here. It's full QWERTY keyboard. It's very responsive, very easy to pick up, and you can type with 2 thumbs, very comfortable. If you prefer and you need a bit more space, or you're typing a longer message, if you hold the phone on its side, just give it a second, you'll get a much easier to type interface there, and we can type away. And you notice here you have a predictive thing, so you've got, I've put in how, but it's also showing up history and things like that. Where I could have mistyped, it's picking up the keys that are around those, which is really good, very useful feature. The only thing there is you can swap it back and to. You know, it's very useful with a phone this size. It's easier to type like this a lot, but that requires 2 hands. One thing with the Mini is when we've unlocked it, we'll get back to messages. And we'll just create a note, which is like adding a message. When typing here, it's very easy with one hand, and you have a 9-key arrangement, and it's alphabetically rather than in QWERTY layout. Here, it's very easy and to type, and as you type, the phone vibrates slightly, so you can recognise that you've pressed that button. And likewise, as I start typing a word, it will pick up the rest of that word. So if I just tap there, it's putting the S for me. This is, as it says there, a great function. It just make typing a lot quicker. However, it is ABC rather than a QWERTY layout. Unlike its bigger brother, if you lay this on its side, it won't turn into a QWERTY layout, and it's not really designed for two fingers. The way this is laid out, it's very easy and comfortable just to use with one hand. You can do it with 2, but you start to get in the way with yourself. It's much easier just with one hand, just one thumb to do all your typing. Okay, that's the Sony Ericsson X10 and the X10 Mini, just compared with each other very quickly for you.